Well, hello and welcome to TNRL. This is your first race of Season 2 and we are at Mount Panorama Waterway to start the season. This is the voice of Bullen FN2, your regular TNRL commentator. Hoppers is not feeling the best after a dentist appointment, so I am covering him and we wish him the best of health. And hopefully he'll be back with you from the next race. But I am happy to be here today and covering this race on behalf of the TNRL community. So at the moment we've got 13 cars in the lobby today, and your first place driver at the moment we are following on track is Ash, AH Gaming 44. Ash is his name. Apologies for the tardy arrival. There was plenty of YouTube red tape for me to get through before it would allow me to stream from my PlayStation, so sorry for that. So here we go. A tricky first race of the season. Not an easy one, this. But these guys now have a whole season under their belt, having completed the previous season just a few weeks ago. And we've got plenty of new drivers out there as well from last season. So Ash currently fastest with a 202.835, which is a decent lap time around here. Adam Foster currently 7/10ths back. The guys just going around getting their lap times in, getting heat into the tyres. So we are halfway through this qualifying session, and after this we will have a new format which includes a 90-minute race, and there is also a tiered system as well to make sure that all drivers have got something to fight for as the season goes on. So early days yet, obviously first race of the season, but we're still following Ash around at the moment. He's looking particularly quick. There's a little bit of glitch in there. Oh, he's off. I think he's had a guts fault and he's back in the pits, so let's follow Foster as he goes up the twisty bit up to the top of the hill. And Adam Foster was my teammate last season, both in the McLaren, but he's got a new livery, looking rather sharp, I must say. And this Liverpool fan certainly found a McLaren. Internet connection issues going on somewhere. Okay, so he's just coming down onto the left-hander for the back straight. I think he's given up the ghost on that lap. He has. So Comma White is the next car in the list. He's new to the league, although not newly known to us. We know him pretty well. We've raced with him in fun races, etc. For the last year or so. So he will be a very welcome addition to this league and a very, very quick driver. And sorry, we're having a few internet issues by the look of it. Sorry, I had some glitching on my screen. Apologies for that. So we're currently following Comma White as he attempts to close that 0.8 of a second gap for first position. So we've got just under 5 minutes left now. All the drivers out there trying to improve on their times, and Ash and Depressed Squid and Marmoletto all trading times, and there's less than a tenth between those top three drivers at the moment, which is basically nothing in terms of lap time around a track of this size. You know, a 2 minute and 2 lap time, to have that small of a gap, that is quite something. So, but it is Depressed Squid who just has the edge at this time over Ash. 0.012 seconds. And Comma White takes pole position at the moment. So it is really tight out there. So the top 4 drivers covered by 0.129 seconds. So you can't get much closer than that. So let's have a look at some of our other drivers here. We've got Kagatakos, which is a new driver to the league. He's in the Porsche. He's currently 1.4 seconds off the pace. Edwin Veldhuizen, who excuse me, did enter the league last season, but due to work commitments did not take part. But he is here, ready and waiting this season, and it's great to see him back on the grid. Dean Helix, who's another new driver. Plenty of Ferraris out there this season, and he's 2.3 seconds off the pace at the moment. Generino in the Ferrari as well, 3.4 seconds off the pace at the moment. Kleneth, the Dutch driver, has switched to the McLaren, and he's in the same livery as Adam Foster by the looks of it, so it looks like they've teamed up for this season. And Ryan Harrison, who is in the Honda. I'm a Honda driver myself on this game, so if he can get the best out of the car, he will do very, very well. But he's come from the Ferrari, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on with that. Serial Killer 999, he is teamed up with AH Gaming 44. They are teammates, they are real life brothers as well. So he has not set a lap time yet, and neither is Ryan above, and neither is Viking 21 less behind. So Serial Killer will be disappointed if he isn't in the, say, top 6 of this starting grid, I would imagine. He does demand a lot from himself as a driver. So back to the top of the grid, and at the moment then it is still Comma White who is leading. He is just about to leave the pits, I believe. No, it's just come into the pit, sorry, my apologies. Ash Humphries is still out there trying his damnedest to catch up the time difference there, which is half a tenth. Depressed Squid is 0.005 as 0.003, sorry, behind Ash then, and then a little bit of a gap back to Marmalade, which is still less than a tenth of a second. Phenomenal lap times from those top 4, fair play. And then a bit of a gap back to Adam Foster, who's a bit in no man's land at the moment. And then we've got our other drivers covered. So Serial Killer's done his first lap. He's 2.3 seconds off the pace at the moment. Slotted himself into 8th position. I think he'll be hoping for a bit more than that, just as we follow Ash around to see if he can improve on his time and take that pole position away from Comma White. That is some time though, you've got to be fair. It's such little time to find such fine margins. Oh, but he's done it. He has done it. It's a 202.4, and that puts him 3/10 ahead. And just as Marmolato improves on his time, he equals Comma White's time. So there's very, very little between them still. But that, considering the lap times we've had so far and how small the gaps have been, that looks like it might just be enough from Ash to take the pole position today. We'll see if anyone can beat it. But Ash Humphries at the moment looks to have taken the pole position. It's going to take a mighty lap to beat that one. Who have we got out there at the moment? The clock is ticked 0, so the drivers will get to finish the lap they are currently on, and that is it. So Depressed Squid currently on a lap in the Racing Green Mercedes. So Serial Killer has got himself up into 6th place. That's more like the pace we were expecting from him today, and he has got himself up into 6th place ahead of Kagatakos and Edwin van Heusen, who is in 8th, and Kaga in 7th respectively. So Depressed Squid coming down the twisty hill now towards the double left-hander before you go onto the back straight. So Ash, I think, is still on a lap himself. I'm not sure if he's up on his delta. I don't have that data available, but we, according to this comment, is in the pits. We've got Marmalotto, Depressed Squid and Ash all still on a lap, so this could still change. Adam Foster still on a lap as well. He has got the ability to close down that gap. I'm trying to figure out who's going to go over the line first. Ash, I think, has gone into the pits, so Marmalotto is going to be the first to cross the line. Has he got enough in the tank to take pole position? He hasn't. He closes the gap, but not by enough. Adam Foster goes second by a gnat's wing, 0.045, and Depressed Squid cannot improve on his time. So there you have it. That is your starting grid, and congratulations to AH Gaming 44 on taking the first pole available this season. Well, that was an intense session we had there. Lots and lots of really quick lap times. They were tumbling down towards the end there, but it's Ash who's just got the edge over Adam Foster. To be fair to Adam, he looked nowhere in respect to the other guys in the initial parts of quali there, but he has really pulled a lap out of nowhere, and congratulations to him on getting second place, with Marmalotto completing the top 3, and Comma White in 4th, Depressed Squid 5th, Serial Killer 6th, Kagatakos in 7th, Edwin Veldhusen in 8th place, Dean Helix, new to the league, as well as Kaga in 9th place, Generino 10th, Cleneth in 11th, Ryan Harrison in 12th, and Viking 21 less in 13th position. Just 5 seconds covering the field. Normally we'd expect sort of 18-19 drivers, but there's been some people who couldn't make it this evening. Perhaps they've got a hangover after watching England win last night, maybe. So there'll just be a brief intermission while we wait for the server to set up for race 1 of TNRL Season 2. Okay guys, less than a minute to go until lights out. The guys are just finishing up their setups and their pit strategies, so they are all prepared for the race. Trying to get those tyres in the right window is the hardest part of this game, so that is what they will be looking to do. We've got just over 30 seconds to go.
30 seconds.
Okay, so the temperature out there is 20 degrees. We've got 25 degrees Celsius, and the weather's looking pretty cloudy out there. I am to understand the server is on fully variable weather, so we could have absolutely anything happen. during this race. So we are a couple of seconds away from race start now. You hear the guys gearing up their engines, ready to go for the warm-up lap. So it'll be one full lap now to formate, ready for the start of the race. And the idea obviously is to get temperature into the tyres, temperature into the brakes, and just get yourself mentally prepared for the race ahead. So it's a 90-minute race, as I said, so it's a long race, and strategy will play a big part. Have they gone light? Have they gone heavy? Will they try to make the tyres last? Will they go for multiple pit stops? Lots of questions to be asked yet. The hardest thing around this track is to be consistent for a prolonged period of time, and it's going to be a big challenge to these drivers not to make any mistakes over the whole race. So it'll be very interesting to see how they get on. So as I said, it is 90 minutes, and this is a new format for Season 2 of TNRL. Excuse me, I can't get my words out today. This season as well, the league has been split into Pro and Pro-Am, which obviously just splits the drivers based on their ability and gives them the opportunity to race against people who are faster than them and improve, as they're all in the same race, in the same way you would have setups in real GT racing and Le Mans and other motorsport you will have seen. But also it gives them something to fight for as well, because they're always in their own smaller independent league as well as the overall league. So your pro drivers this season are Marmalotto, Adam Foster, AH Gaming 44, Depressed Squid, Devilfish, who is not present this evening. He's a very, very quick driver. Comma White, RRT Sampe, who again is not present, and Kagatakos is also one of your pro drivers for this season. And your AM category, you have Clenneth in the McLaren, Generino in the Ferrari, and Dean Helix also in the Ferrari, Cody, who again is not present this evening, R. Harrison, who is in the Honda, and I'll be cheering him on today. He's a good lad. He learned a heck of a lot last season, really improved, and as a fellow Honda man, I want to see him do well tonight, selfishly. I've got Kiribati also in the Honda. I believe him and Ryan are teammates this season, but again, he is not present. Perhaps a football hangover for him. Edwin Veldhuizen in the Ferrari, and Serial Killer in the Bentley. He's teamed up with Ash from the pro category. So that is your driver lineup. So there are a few drivers missing this evening, but that is to be expected. Unfortunately, it does happen. So the drivers are still coming down the back straight towards the right hand kink before the slow left hander. They're still trying to get heat into those tyres. Heat into the brakes. It's quite difficult on such a long track when you have to do a full formation lap like this. It can be quite challenging. So now the drivers need to split into their left and right hand sides in order to get into position ready for the race start. So being a rolling start is very difficult. You've got to wait for the green light, but you've got to be on just the right speed, just the right amount of throttle as the light goes green. It's not quite the same type of reactions as you would get when doing a standing start like you see in F1 or touring cars. So here we go, the drivers all now have to adhere to a maximum speed of 43 miles an hour, and it's green, and away we go. Adam Foster's had a good start on the right hand side, but I think Ash has just got the better of him. He goes into the first left-hander in first place, and it all looks pretty clean back there, which is great to see. That's what we like to see. We don't want to see any gung-ho racing. It's a long old race, but as we head up to the second corner, the right-hander that goes up the hill, It is Ash still in first place ahead of Adam Foster, with Marmolotto taking a look up the inside of Foster. Is he going to get the move done early here? He's not wasting any time. There's still Foster's around. Foster is around, and there's carnage. Everybody's crashing into each other, and Comma White gets away with it. Serial Killer just gets away. Oh, it's been a bit carnage. All the drivers are switching around. I can't see who's actually got away with that. Ash, I think, got away from that unscathed. He was just ahead of that. I'm not sure if Marmolotto caused that or if it was just the overtake forced a bit of a mistake from Adam Foster. I can't comment. I didn't see exactly how it happened, but he has spun. So Ash has a pretty commanding lead now over Marmolotto. The last time they went through the speed trap, it was 1.5 seconds. Comma White then a bit further back in third position. Serial Killer up to fourth already. He managed to escape some of that carnage, and he's benefited big time from that. Kagatakos then back in fifth. Adam Foster has gone to the pits, so he'll be static probably for about 4 minutes before they'll allow him to drive back into the race, and that will not count as a proper pit stop. So you can see now Generino is currently in 6, 1.5 seconds off the back of Kagatakos. Edwin Waldhusen is in 7th. Harrison is currently in 8th in the Honda. Oh, a mistake there from Veldhusen, and I think Generino's got through on him. Serial Killer's going into the pit, so I think he's got some damage. Something's happened there. Serial Killer's showing a lap down on the timing screen there, but that can't quite be right. Depressed Squid right at the back, so he's had issues as well. Yeah, he's in the pits for repairs. And that second corner incident on the right hander going up the hill has caused a lot of problems. So Adam Foster, Depressed Squid and Serial Killer, all front runners in this race, have all got big damage and probably quite a lengthy pit stop ahead of them. So back to the race. And Adam Foster and Marmolotto, not a lot between them, as you can see. Marmolotto clearly had his car set up more for race pace than he did for qualifying, because he's really putting the pressure on early on here, as he did on Adam Foster. He's now pressuring AH Gaming 44, but it is a long race. We are only just over 3 minutes into this race, so a lot can happen between now and then. But these two are stretching their legs right at the front. There's a bit of a gap back to Comma White at the moment, but we'll stick with these guys as these are close together and the closest battle we have on the field at the moment. So, and it is for the lead after all. Oh, little tap of the barrier there for Marmolotto. That's not great. Those little taps do add up, and they do force you to lose some downforce. So coming down the back straight now, the fast right hand king coming up. And Ash has switched to this Bentley car this season after racing in the Lexus last season. The Bentley won the championship in the hands of Marmolotto last season, and he himself has challenged himself and chosen to switch over to the Ferrari. So we've still got a bit of glitching going on, guys. I'm sorry about that. I don't quite know whether it's their internet or mine. But as they come to cross the start-finish line, Marmolotto has got the move done, and he is up into first place. And Ash down now into second, but I think Ash, it looks like he's playing more of the long game in terms of preserving his tyres and his fuel load. There's no mandatory pit stop in this. It is open strategy, but I would be surprised if any of these cars can make the whole race without needing to make at least one stop. You can see Depressed Squid in the background there. He is not battling in third place. He is unfortunately down in 12th position, having had to make a very lengthy pit stop. Ash still a bit of a lead, but as I say, I think Ash is playing more of the long game at the moment and looking after the car. But these two are already 11 seconds ahead of Comma White. I don't know if Comma picked up some damage during that first lap incident and has perhaps decided not to stop. That could well be the case. So, as it is now settled down a little bit, let's just take a look where everyone is. So Marmolotto now up into first position, having started in third, and Ash Gaming just in behind him, just less than a second behind. Common White 11 seconds further back. He's just coming down the downhill S's now towards the back straight in the Audi. Kagatakos is 4 seconds behind him in fourth position. Generino currently up to fifth position in the Ferrari, and he again managed to keep it reasonably clean at the start, but that Ferrari has definitely had some damage, so he's been involved in something. The back front end of that looks pretty battered. So these two are battling pretty hard now. You've got Harrison and Veldhuizen, the Honda versus the Ferrari. Very similar cars, mid-engined rear-wheel drive cars, very similar in the way they drive, but the Ferrari just gets through. Great move by Edwin there. Oh, but he's overcooked it. He's got his braking point wrong. Oh, he made the move, but he could not make it stick, and Harrison just kept it clean and retakes the position back up into sixth place. Good, nice, clean racing from these two drivers. Fantastic. And Veldhuizen now dropping a little bit off due to that mistake. So Dean Helix keeping in touch with these. He's currently in 8th position, also in a Ferrari. Comma White has gone into the pit, so I suspect he did have damage, and that's why he was dropping a couple of seconds a lap on the guys in front. Clenneth then is currently in 9th position. Again, I think he could possibly have picked up some damage early on in those incidents. Viking 21 less is in 10th position, currently 7 seconds off the back of Clenneth. 1 lap down, then you've got all the drivers who made the early pit stops due to damage. Serial Killer, Depressed Squid and Adam Foster still locked in the pits. I'm not sure if and when he'll be coming back out. Comma White just coming out of the pits with Serial Killer. He is... oh, it's close, but he's not quite got it. I thought that was going to be a bit closer than that then, but he might get a bit of a run on him up into turn 2, but I think he's a little bit far back. But that was close there. Comma's done well to stay out in front of him if he's also pitted for damage. So these guys will be playing the long game now. There is a long way to go in this race. So Veldhuizen into the pits as well. I suspect he also has received some damage. Doesn't look too bad. So Harrison currently in 5th position. It's a bit of carnage out there. It is one of those tracks, unfortunately, that it bites, and it bites hard. So, but Harrison no longer under pressure from Veldhuizen, who is in the pits and dropping positions quite quickly. I'm not sure if he teleported. If he did, he'll be stuck there for a while, much like Adam Foster has been. So just checking on our race leader Marmolotto. He is now 3 seconds clear of AH Gaming 44 at the front of the grid. So he's gotten himself a reasonable gap there, but these two are miles out in front of there's 21 seconds back to Kagatakos in the Porsche. He is currently in 3rd position. So Generino in 4th position, just 2.5 seconds back from him. Harrison still in 5th. So Serial Killer has managed to unlap himself and overtake Edwin Veldhuizen, who is still in the pits, and he's just out of the pits now according to my screen, and he's just been overtaken by Depressed Squid as well. So pretty tight. You can see Generino trying to chase down Kagatakos, but I'm not sure he's quite got the pace to catch him and overtake him at the moment. So we've had just over 10 minutes of this race, and there's been so much going on I can barely keep track myself. So plenty of incidents from that first lap crash involving well, Marmolotto and Adam Foster. Obviously Marmolotto did the overtake. I'm not saying he hit him, I don't know, but Adam had the spin and he's still in the pits from that. And that caused about 4 or 5 cars to all have an accident of sorts and pick up some damage. So, but Marmolotto out in front at the moment with 5 laps gone. AH Gaming trying to stay in touch. Again, I don't know if either of these have damage. I don't know if one is lighter than the other in terms of fuel, tyre saving. That'll all come into play obviously in the last half hour, 20 minutes of the race. So for now they just all settle down now, trying to get into a racing rhythm again around this very difficult circuit, to settle down for the next hour, really keep it clean, keep it simple, and then the last 20 minutes where we will see who are the winners and losers. So you can see Depressed Squid since his pit stop, I assume he's probably ploughed a load of fuel in to that car to go as long as possible. But one thing Depressed Squid is very good at looking after his tyres, so I expect to see him going very, very long now. But he is keeping pace with the leading two. Obviously he's not racing them at the moment because he is a lap down, but he is very, very much keeping pace with them. So Adam Foster still in the pits. I'm not sure. He should have been able to be released by now, so I think it's some sort of terminal issue. Maybe it's caused an issue with his wheel. That happens sometimes, they can glitch when you're in an accident. So perhaps something like that has happened, but it looks like we've lost Adam Foster from this race, and he is 4 laps down at the moment, which is almost irretrievable. So such a shame on only the first lap. So Marmolotto is into the pits now, so I don't know if that was damage related. It doesn't appear he's been in there very long, but Ash has now retaken the lead of this race. So a quick pit stop for Marmolotto. Difficult to say whether that is going to be tactical. I mean, it's very early, only 14 minutes in, so I'm going to assume it was some light damage that he just wanted to get taken care of now so he could settle down. But he comes out of the pits in 5th position. That promotes Harris 6th, 7th. Sorry, the timing screen's a bit late updating. So he's now down in 7th position. Harrison now promoted up to 4th, with Generino up in 3rd and Kagatakos up into 2nd position. But he is a long way off the back of Ash 44. So Ash coming down now to complete another lap. Ash with a commanding lead at the moment, but he has not stopped where most of his qualifying rivals, i.e. still in the pits. Depressed Squid. It is very difficult to tell at this point where these cars actually are in this race. And of course, over such a long race, such a demanding track and such variable conditions, we could see a lot more happen in the next hour and 15 minutes in terms of accidents and changeable weather. That is the beauty of it. We just don't know what's going to happen at this point. That beautiful British liveried Bentley is doing the job at the moment. As I say, it did win the championship last season in the hands of Marmolotto. Ash will be very much hoping for the same again now. So he's got a 30-second buffer. If he's got no damage, the average pit stop is usually around a minute. By the time you go in, the stop is around 30 seconds, and you lose around 30 seconds in the pit lane itself. So you can lose around a minute for a pit stop. So he seems to have a reasonably sizable gap over his fellow drivers at the moment. So let's take a look around the field and see what's going on. So we got Kagatakos currently in second place. He is 33 seconds odd off the back of AH Gaming 44 at the moment, as he comes down towards the start finish straight. Only 3.5 seconds back then from him is Generino in the Ferrari versus Porsche. Harrison then just another 3 seconds back in the Honda. So those three looks like they're going to be fighting all the way through this race, and the Honda doing Harrison proud at the moment. Dean Helix is then just a few seconds back, 8 seconds back off the back of these guys. So one small mistake and he could be right in with a shout of some good points today. Clenneth then another 3 seconds back in the McLaren 720. All keeping in touching distance of each other, and in the background then you can see Marmolotto, last season's champion, the defending champion, starting to get very interested in these guys just ahead. Of course, he has stopped. Whether he's going to go to the end or whether he's going to need to stop again, we don't know. But the guys all in front of him will certainly need to stop at some point, and he, having already stopped, should leapfrog them automatically. But I suspect he'll want to get it done on track for self-pride more than anything else. So Viking 21 less currently in 8th position. He's just kept his nose clean and minding his own business, but he's kept it clean and he's currently up into 8th position. So Comma White not too far back from him, about 16 seconds, considering he's had to pit for damage. He's done okay. Oh, and I just noticed Serial Killer's back into the pits. He was catching Comma and he is now into the pits, which I believe will promote Depressed Squid ahead of Serial Killer at the next interval. So is that more damage? That's a second stop for Serial Killer already. I suspect there very much could be some damage there, or perhaps he's going to fill up and just try and go to the end with fresh tyres. And Veldhusen currently in 12th position. He's coming around the back of the circuit now. I think he's got quite a bit to do if he's to overtake Serial Killer from his current position. Serial Killer still isn't moving at this point, but the Depressed Squid has got him as he tries to chase down Common White and the other guys. Positions he's lost because of that early incident, and recover. So the gap between Generino and Kagatakos has come down loads. I suspect Kaga has made a bit of a mistake somewhere, because the gap is substantially lower and the gap between him and AH Gaming is bigger. So I think Jen is just keeping the pressure on, and Kaga has made a little mistake somewhere. So we'll just follow them now as they come down the back half of the circuit, down the twisty S's, downhill You've got the double left-hander before the back straight, the long straight. And that's just what they're coming down towards now. Harrison as well, still in touch and distance of these two, keeping himself very interested in what's going on ahead. So he's lost a bit of time there, Generino. It's 1.5 seconds back now. And just along that straight, so good straight line speed from that Porsche, the number 88. Ash now with a commanding lead. He's halfway up the hill on the other side as these guys cross the start-finish line. Ash has managed to keep his nose clean. And Marmolotto has done some overtaking. He's got Clenneth, he's got Dean Helix, who's actually taken Clenneth as well. Sorry, we've missed that on the stream here, but Marmolotto is making moves in that Ferrari as he comes back through the field. I can only assume he stopped because of damage, but without team radio it is impossible to know. The ambient and track temperature have both dropped since the start of this race, so that does play a huge part when talking about the tyre pressures and the setup of the car. That can be the difference between being quick and being inconsistent or unstable, so they will have to keep an eye on that. Although the wind itself is pretty consistent, the track temperature is dropping at the moment. The track is well rubbed in though, so they should still have plenty of mechanical grip out there. So just sticking with Marmolotto at the moment, as he appears to be chasing down Harrison, and if he catches the Harrison Generino Kagatakos battle, we should see some good overtakes happening right in front of our very eyes. Yeah, he's not far now with the number one car, Ferrari. He is not too far behind these guys now. He's taken a massive chunk, 3 seconds out of Harrison in that lap alone, so he is on a charge. Difficult to say if he's catching Humphreys overall. It's almost impossible to tell. Viking 21 Less is in the pits. I just noticed that, so I think he's picked up some damage somewhere. Adam Foster's still in the pits, 9 laps down now, so I think that is pretty much confirmed as a retirement, unfortunately, due to that first lap incident. It's hugely disappointing for him, I do feel for him. He was my teammate last season, lots of respect for him, very good driver. So commiserations to him on picking up that damage on the very first lap. So, just watching Marmolotto as he chases down this 3-car battle of Kagatakos, Generino and Harrison, and he's getting very interested in the back of Harrison coming up this hill now. The gap has come down hugely and the camera angle wasn't the best, but Marmolotto's still behind. Harrison defending well, and he's not just giving him, he's making him work for it, and right he should. So the Honda still defending from the Ferrari as they come downhill, down the S's. Camera angle's not the best on this game when you're trying to commentate, because you don't always see what's going on, but there's less than a second between these two now. I expect to see an overtake over before this lap finishes. Every second he's stuck behind, he is losing time to AH Gaming, who has started the 12th lap and is halfway up the hill on the other side of the track as we speak, so he's well ahead. Marmolotto down the inside, and Harrison tried to defend, but he doesn't want to ruin his own race by defending against somebody who is on a different strategy to him and is a lot quicker in general. But good little battle there from these two. Marmolotto now will cross the line in 4th position. There he goes. So he's got 6 seconds to make up now on Jenna and Kaga. So let's join the Jenna-Kaga battle, and I expect to see Marmolotto join the back of this very, very soon. So Kaga Taco's still keeping Jenna behind. Jenna's had very, very good pace, but has dropped back a couple of times and then caught back up. So I don't know if he's just controlling tyre temperatures, but he's not had a full-on attack yet. So they're just coming uphill now in the twisty section before you get to the top of the mountain. And the Porsche still keeping the Ferrari at bay at the moment. So the downhill section just about to start. This a very, very tricky section. You've just got to get your braking and steering inputs very, very subtle braking and steering inputs, not to unsettle the car as you were coming down this downhill section. But they both look to have this nailed. But different lines, but both very effective. There's not much between them. And again, Jenna will be looking to challenge down the back straight, but you can see Marmolotto just coming into the picture there. He's dropped, what was it, 1.5 seconds on these guys. He's caught up in this half a lap alone. So down the back straight now, that Porsche does look quick on the back straight. I think that's where Jennerino's losing most of the time, seems to be down this straight. So maybe he's got some, yeah, he's lost there, look, 7/10. So it's quite possible he's got some damage, and that's leading to a lower top speed because he's lost some downforce. That could well be the case. Marmolotto now only 1.8 seconds behind. So I suspect his teammate may get some team orders, Jennerino being his teammate, in just a moment or two. Oh, Jennerino's gone through. Kagatakos made a mistake going into the last corner, and Jennerino's taken him. Well, out of nowhere, Takos makes a mistake and Reno through and up into 2nd place. And Marmolotto now getting very interested in these two as they come up this long straight towards the right-hander to go up the hill. Well, I honestly thought that Jenna was going to have to pull over and let his teammate through and then come back and battle Kaga, but Kaga's made a mistake. Marmolotto goes up the inside. Is he going to get the room he wants from Takos? That's a bad angle. Oh, Takos is not making it easy, but Marmolotto goes up the inside. He's got the outside line for this corner though, and he has to concede. He has to look after his car. Can't afford to be too gung-ho, especially on this track, because it's just waiting to bite with the close walls. So they come around now down towards the downhill section from the top of the mountain, and Takos has made another mistake there, and he just has to concede the position to Marmolotto. Good racing from him, but he managed to keep out of the way and not cause any issues. Just a couple of little mistakes there. A lot of pressure, to be fair, from both Marmolotto and Jennerino, and Takos has made a couple of errors, but he just needs to settle down now and look after his own race, as we are only 33% of the way through this race and we've still got a long way to go. So Marmolotto now currently in 3rd position, and as I say that, these guys just coming around to towards the end of the lap, and AH Gaming is almost at the top of the hill, so he has a commanding lead at the moment. He's kept it clean, he's not made a mistake. Commentator's curse, the first thing he's going to do now is put it straight in the wall. So interested to see whether there'll be some team orders here, or whether Jen is going to fight Marmolotto for position. Let's see how it goes. So yeah, we've just clocked over the first half an hour then. There is 1 hour to go. And yeah, he does concede the position to Marmolotto. I thought very much that would be the case. So we are, as I said, 30 minutes into a 90-minute race. There is still 1 hour to go. And your leader is still AH Gaming 44. So he is on the back half of the circuit now, just coming down towards the start finish straight, about to start lap 15. And his nearest rival, Marmolotto, is currently still on top of the mountain, so that is a massive gap. So let's just review the field again then. So with just under 58 minutes to go, AH Gaming is first. He's just lapping Edwin Veldhuizen. Marmolotto currently in second position, but nearly half the track behind AH Gaming at the moment. His teammate Generino is just shy of 5 seconds back from him. Kagatakos is just making his first pit stop. He's in fourth, having just been overtaken by Generino. So R. Harrison should get him now up into fourth position. Next is Dean Helix. Then we have Comma White, who's battling back, having to make a very early pit stop, along with some other drivers, such as Marmolotto, who's currently in second. Comma is currently in position. Clenathan in the McLaren is in 8th. Depressed Squid in the green Mercedes is in 9th position at the moment. And pretty much a whole lap back then is Serial Killer according to the timings, but these guys are right on top of each other, so I'm wondering if we're waiting for them to update. Yes, there we go. I thought that might be the case. They hadn't crossed the timing screen. So Serial Killer has overtaken Depressed Squid, and these have both had to make 2 pit stops now due to errors. Edwin Veldhuizen, I was just about to click on his name and say he's in the pits, but he has just left the lobby and is no longer in this race. At least I guess that'll stop me mispronouncing his name for the next hour. And as you said, Adam Foster still in the pits, 13 laps down, and basically classed as a retiree. So only 11 people left in this race now. So in honesty, guys, not a lot to talk about at the moment. It's pretty much settled down out there. So I'm just going to take a few minutes, and I'll be back in just a few. Okay, so we've got a bit of a battle between Serial Killer and Depressed Squid here, 2 veterans of last season, back for Season 2. And Depressed Squid looking to make a move up the inside of Serial Killer into turn 2, and Serial Killer just goes a little wide there, makes it a little bit too easy, I think, for Depressed Squid. He won't be happy with that, but Depressed Squid has made it work, kept it clean, and he is through into 9th position. So good move there. From Depressed Squid. I can see Ash in first place there, not exactly keeping it off the curbs, is he? And taking it easy, he's still pushing quite hard. He knows there's a long way to go, and Marmolato is still chasing him down. Despite being half the circuit behind, anything can happen. One little mix-up with a back marker or a little slip onto the grass, and the chemistry and construction of his race changes very, very, very quickly. So AH Gaming 44 just coming down towards the left-right kink before driving down towards the start-finish straight, and he will start the 18th lap of this race. We've got 52.5 minutes to go. So he is in first place, and then his nearest challenger, being Marmolato, is still up on top of the mountain at the moment. Generino 13 seconds behind him at the other end of the mountain. Harrison in fourth at the moment in the Honda, currently 11 seconds back from him. Common White chasing him down at the moment. Early pit stop damage, so he's fighting his way back now, looking to get as far up the grid as he can. Dean Helix currently in the pits. Not sure if this is a scheduled stop or for damage. Could be a scheduled stop now as we come up towards the halfway mark. So Kagatakos will overtake him, I believe, while he sits in the pits. So Kleneth just behind him still, but he's dropped back a bit now. He's a good 5 seconds off him now. With Depressed Squid way, way behind these guys, due to him and Serial Killer both still quite close together, but they've both made a double pit stop. Viking 21 for less is still in the pits now. He's 6 laps behind, so in effect we are down to our last 10 cars, guys. So Adam Foster has gone now. He's left the lobby altogether. So yeah, with Viking 21 less in the pits, we just have 10 cars left. Not many battles throughout the field at the moment, but that does tend to be what happens with GT racing. The field does tend to get a bit spread out due to variations in strategies, etc. So Harrison's currently in the pits in the Honda. I assume for his scheduled stop, he looks like he's just about to finish. Yep, and out he goes. So who's close to him? Is he going to come out ahead of the 88 car? I think he might just have Kagatakos. It's going to be close. Yeah, he has, and well done to Harrison there. So he, despite having stopped now, has consolidated 5th place at the moment with 50 minutes to go. So well done to Ryan on that one. So if you are new to the league, I am BullenFN2. I am just covering for Hoppers, who will be your normal commentator this season. Hopper's a little unwell after a visit to the dentist, so I am just covering for him for this opening race of Season 2 of TNRL. And it's been a bit of a challenge moment so far. So just to recap, AH Gaming 44 qualified on pole by a Nat Wing, ahead of Comma White, with Marmalotto and Depressed Squid very close to them as well. A very close top four with not much between them. And Adam Foster, sorry, was second, and Marmalotto, Comma White and Depressed Squid, apologies. Adam got spun around into turn 2 and he caused a bit of a pile-up, which has led to 4 or 5 pretty lengthy pit stops, and Adam himself has had to retire from this race. So Ash got away with that, AH Gaming 44, and that's why, one of the main reasons he has such a commanding lead, as well as keeping it very clean and very steady throughout this race so far. Not to take anything away from him, of course, but it has played a part in him being so far ahead. And the field, as I said, pretty spread out. Marmalotto just coming up to lap Clenneth at the moment. Clenneth, one of our Dutch drivers, spent last season struggling around a bit in a car he didn't like, so he's trying the McLaren this year, and he appears, from what I can tell, to be a bit more comfortable with this car, and he's driving decent enough so far in 7th position. Bit of a drift there from Clenneth. Nice drift, mate. I'm not sure you're supposed to drift these, but it looks good. Why not? Slow sideways with a smile. So pretty sizable gaps between most of these drivers now. So we're waiting for strategy to play its part. I don't believe AH Gaming 44 has made a stop yet. Coming up to the halfway mark, so I wonder if he'll stop dead on halfway, so perhaps at the end of his next lap, or whether potentially he could go as long as possible with a quick splash and dash at the end. And that's the beauty of these open strategy races, is that it gives the drivers a lot of options. So I'm just watching your race leader at the moment as the halfway mark pretty much ticks over. 45 minutes down, 45 minutes to go. AH Gaming has a commanding lead at the moment. He has not yet stopped. His nearest rival, Marmalotto, has stopped, but he stopped very early in this race. So there is potential that he will need to stop again. Comma White has just finished another pit stop, and he comes out of the pits in 6th position.
We are halfway through, keep it up.
So there is the halfway marker. And AH Gaming coming up now to lap his teammate and brother, Serial Killer 99. It's been a bit of a disaster for Serial Killer. So I just had confirmation that Viking 21 Less has also left the lobby, so this is it now, just 10 drivers left. Marino is in for his first pit stop, so Ryan and Kaga were quite close together now, getting very interested in that. Jenna's pit stop, if it is long enough, may well give these guys a chance to catch and overtake. Jenna's still stationary in the pits in third position at the moment. So these drivers, if they can catch as they come to the left-right kink, which takes you down to the start-finish straight, Jenna's still stationary in the pits, but these two are fighting for position as well. Kagatakos goes down the inside and he gets the position ahead of Ryan. Jenna's still not moving in the pit stop, so these are both going to get Gennarino. And Harrison's still not giving up that position. He's still fighting back, but Kagatakos takes it. And that was a great move down the inside. And great racing room given also by Ryan Harrison. Some fantastic driving there by the pair of them. Oh, apologies, it appears that I don't know if the timing screen again is not updating properly. Yeah, there we go, it's finally updated. It always waits for me to make a fool of myself before it does it. But yeah, just confirmation then that Kagatakos, one of the pro drivers, is now up into third place and ahead of R. Harrison, who is at the moment the lead AM driver out there today. Great that 2 championships are set up because it gives plenty of opportunities for drivers to still battle. Of course, overall and within their own leagues. And as I said earlier, it's great that they get to take part in a race with people who are quicker than them, because it's a great learning curve. So what we got left now, just under 42 minutes. There aren't any particularly close battles going on out there. AH Gaming still yet to make a pit stop as far as I am aware. Be interesting to see when he stops and if Marmolotto needs to stop again. So here we are, just over 40 minutes to go then, and AH Gaming still out in front in first place with a commanding lead, and his nearest rival, based on the map, I would say probably is catching him actually, but not convinced it's going to be enough. And as I said, I'm not sure if he needs to stop again, but that man we're talking about is the number 1 car, the defending champion, Marmolotto, who's just coming up the hill to the top of the mountain at the moment. 50 seconds is the gap, so if AH Gaming stops, he will be behind Marmolotto, because it's about a 60-second loss in the pits. The big question is, does Marmolotto need to stop again after stopping so early in this race? Track temperature is down now to 17 degrees, so the tyre pressures will be off compared to what these guys are used to. Tyre wear will be different. They'll be graining. It's surprising how much of a difference it makes. I mean, it was 24, I think it was, 21 ambient and 24 track when the race started. So 7 degrees is a massive swing for tyre pressures and can really impact the way the car drives. So your third place man at the moment is Kagatakos in the lone Porsche out there. He's just coming down to the start finish straight to complete another lap. In 7th position is R. Harrison. sorry, in 4th position, number 7, Harrison, apologies. Just a few seconds behind Kagatakos. He's about to get lapped by Marmolotto. Generino has dropped off the back of these guys. I thought he may have kept a bit closer, but he's not as close to Harrison as he was when he came out of the pits. Clenneth currently in 6th. He's only 3 seconds behind Generino at the moment, and Comma White, who's had to make another pit stop, is in 7th position at the moment. So he is, what, 2.5 seconds off the back of Clenneth. So him catching these two is about the best battle we've got to watch at the moment. So let's see if he can get close and get by in the next lap or so. And just to cover off the rest of the field before we do that, Dean Helix currently in 8th position, 13 seconds off the back of the guys we were just talking about. And then your last 2 drivers left in this race, Depressed Squid was 2 laps back due to 2 pit stops, and Serial Killer, who's a few corners back from him. So we'll just rejoin Common now as he chases down Clenneth and Generino and see if he can make any progress back up the field in this race. He certainly had the pace in qualifying. I've raced against Comma. He's a very, very fast and consistent driver in that Audi. He's very close to Kenneth now as they come downhill, and you've got the 2 90-degree left-handers then down onto the back straight, which is very long. If he can get the right run out, he might get a slipstream and just get past. But I can confess, having driven that McLaren in season 1 of this league, that McLaren is very fast in a straight line, so it won't be easy for the Audi. You can see that despite the slipstream, he hasn't quite got enough pace to get past. Is he going to go up the inside? He's not going to risk it. And we got some internet glitching going on again there, and he's got up the inside corner. Clenneth didn't battle him too hard. Clenneth running his own race, and Comma up now into 6th position, and now he can chase after Generino. I think he's got the legs on Generino, so he's definitely got the pace to catch him. Overtaking him is another story though. Clenneth down now to 7th position with Comma White up to 6th. Oh, Generino's hit a wall. Oh, he's hit a wall. Oh, he's going to cause another accident. Oh, that was so close to being an accident there. Jenna reversed out into the middle of the track with Comma White and Clenneth approaching. Well, I mean, that's kind of taking the fun out of what we wanted to watch, which was Comma White to have a real good go at Jenna from a few laps, but that's not going to happen now. Unfortunately, Generino has made the mistake, and it was where he reversed out. I really thought we were going to have a bad accident on our hands there, but thankfully the drivers all saw what was going on and got through pretty much unscathed. So Generino will drop down to 7th position now. Clenneth also gaining from that mistake. He's up to 6th, and Comma White now up into 5th position with Ryan Harrison in the Honda, 22 seconds ahead of him. So that's quite the gap. So what is the gap out front between Marmolotto and AH Gaming 44? Now I could be wrong, but as far as I'm aware, AH Gaming still has not stopped. He may well have. I may have missed it. It's difficult to keep a track of everything, especially when you don't have a production team and a director doing all the camera work for you. It's all me. But if he has stopped, then that's pretty much his to lose. But I've got a feeling he hasn't yet stopped. And Marmolotto has been rapid since he did stop. But again, I'm not convinced he's got enough to make it to the end. I don't know if he's got enough tyres and enough fuel to get to the end, because he did stop very early in this race, which must have been forced due to damage, but I suppose time will tell. So what are we now? Under 35 minutes left, and no real close battles at the moment. Generino coming back towards Clenneth after his error. This is the spot where he crashed in the last lap to let Clenneth and Comma White through. It's good to see a lot of the different manufacturers getting represented as well out there, as different types of cars support different types of driving styles. Whether you go MR setup or FR, some ride the curbs a lot better than others, depends on your driving style and how you like to ride the curbs or not. And how smooth you are on the power will depend on what type of car is better for you. But Generino definitely at this phase of this race quicker than Clenneth, really putting the pressure on the Dutchman now. It's Holland versus Italy as we come down to the two left-handers now onto the back straight. Yeah, that McLaren's still got the legs on the Ferrari. Jenna's not quite got the pace to get past him there. He's probably got a bit of damage from that accident he had 2 laps back as well. So Clenneth will do well to keep them behind, but Generino's definitely got a better run out of those couple of corners. Can he make a move now into the final turn? He tries to go up the inside. Clenneth gives him room. Is he going to try the cutback though? No, the McLaren just doesn't have the traction. I think he's struggling with tyres. Marmalotto is in the pits. He's in the pits again. I suspect this is for fuel. So I suspected he needed to stop again. So this pretty much means that AH Gaming's going to win this race. Unless he has a big accident or something goes wrong. But look at those clouds. It's very dark out there. The track temperature now down to 16 degrees. I'm just wondering if we're going to get a bit of rain towards the end of this race. It's looking extremely dark. If we had some rain, that'll certainly mix the grid up a bit and bring the guys closer together. What this race is in desperate need of is a safety car. But of course we don't have safety cars on Assetto Corsa competition. A safety car would do lovely right now, but so Marmalotto showing flashed up there briefly as 55 seconds behind Ash, and as soon as he's made a pit stop, I think Ash has stopped and I've missed it, but he's basically he's half a circuit behind his rival with an hour of the race almost gone and just over 30 minutes to go. So just checking in on Comma, he was 23 seconds behind Harrison when he overtook Jenna and Clenneth, and he's now showing as 14 seconds behind, so he's definitely catching the Honda of our Harrison. The question is, will he be able to overtake him? Yeah, 13 seconds now. He's taking chunks out of Harrison lap after lap. So that'll possibly be the next battle to watch. The press grid also very much catching Dean Helix as well. Dean Helix has also caught up to Clenneth, so Clenneth hasn't had an issue. He's not fallen off the back of Generino, but Dean Helix definitely quicker than Clenneth at the moment. Clenneth really struggling with the brakes and tyres by the looks of it. With these lower temperatures, I see probably a little bit off. You can see it's starting to get dark now as well. There's a lot of dark cloud. Drivers are going to need their lights. Dean Helix looking to make a move. Oh, he's just overcooked it and he's hit the wall. Oh, he was putting real pressure on Kenneth there, but he's just overcooked it. He'll have some serious damage from that. That was a big shunt straight into the wall. And Mamalotto just come in to lap him as well. So he'll need to get out of the way and let Mamalotto by. Oh, and he's hit the wall again. Oh, that's bad news. The car looks almost undrivable there. And Depressed Squid all of a sudden has gone from being 13 seconds behind him to right behind him. And he's going to have to stop again, I believe, Helix. That is some serious damage. You can barely keep the car running straight. Depressed Squid going up the inside, and that'll be the easiest overtake that Depressed Squid does in this race. And Helix was rapid, catching Kenneth, and two big shunts in over a series of 3 or 4 corners. And that's it, game over. As we have, what is it, 27.5 minutes left. Helix goes into the pit, so we're expecting Serial Killer to overtake him as well, as he'll have probably a 90-second pit stop or so based on the amount of damage he picked up in those 2 incidents. Dean Serial Killer should fly through now into 9th place. Certainly not had the race he would have wanted, Serial Killer, and that early damage really hindered his race, and he's not really recovered in the way he would have liked, I assume. But up to 9th now, and every position counts, obviously, with so few drivers left in this race. But it's 22 seconds off the back of of Depressed Squid, sorry. So Depressed Squid only 8 seconds off the back of Kenneth now, whereas that was a much bigger gap before. So he's catching every corner, really. I think Kenneth really seems to be struggling to keep that McLaren facing in the right direction. I suspect the tyres are very worn. Yeah, so he's under a second behind Kenneth now. The Dutchman just trying to hang on to that McLaren. Depressed Squid, another who got caught up in that first lap incident and still trying to recover from it. Looking for 7th position. Mercedes versus McLaren as they come over the start-finish straight. Depressed going to be looking to go up the inside into turn 1. He gets it done nice and clean. Job done from Depressed Squid. And if he can follow Marmolato and keep pace with him, he'll probably make up a few more positions over this last 25 minutes now. And Dean Helix comes out of the pits pretty much a lap down on where he was before that accident. So a shame for him, but it does happen. It's looking particularly dark out there now. The drivers have all got their lights on. Depressed Squid currently 8.5 seconds behind Generino, and Comma's time on R. Harrison has come down, so let's keep an eye on the Audi driver to see if he can catch and overtake the Honda. I think that's likely to happen a bit sooner than Depressed Squid's battle, potential battle, I should say, with Generino. So Comma White, yeah, under 3 seconds now. As he catches up with the Honda of Harrison. So Honda crosses line, comes down towards 2 and 1, and the gap is 1 second now. So Harrison definitely does not have the pace of Corner Wide, but he's still got to get past and make that stick, which will give him 4th position, which, considering the accidents and everything, is a very good recovery drive from Corner Wide, but he hasn't got it done yet. Harrison, as they go into what is effectively turn 2, despite being so far away from turn 1, and they come up the hill, much better traction from the Audi. You can see he's having to hold back just to avoid any silly moves or accidents. Honda twists around the S's as they get to the top of Mount Panorama. The Bathurst drive is one of the best on these simulators, but it is definitely one of the most difficult as well. Oh, a little mistake there from Conway. Just saw the back end just got away from him. He had to back off and adjust to avoid hitting a wall, and he's probably lost a couple of seconds there. Oh, and Harrison's gone off. He's given him the position, so I think there may have been some accidental contact there. Harrison pulled over and gave Cotman the position. Well, we've been robbed of an overtaking move, but very, very good gentlemanly racing from the two drivers there, if indeed that is what happened. I'm assuming that Harrison has perhaps made some accidental contact and given the position out of respect. So if that is what's happened, then fair play to the two of them. But Conor White now up into 4th position. So Kagatakos is going up the mountain the other side, so he's a long way ahead of Conor White now. So the next battle for us to look at, I was about to say, would be Depressed Squid versus Generino, but Generino has just gone into the pits. So Kenneth and Depressed Squid have taken over them nice and easy there. Suspect there must be some damage. Serial Killer now dead last as well, so I think he's had another issue. It's so difficult to keep on top of all these issues. Mama Lotto back in the pits. So he's had an incident somewhere as well. Certainly not the best race from the champion. He's definitely not had his best afternoon. Huge respect for him, a very, very quick driver. So AH Gaming 44, he's kept it clean, kept it simple, and he has flown out there. So with 1 hour and 10 minutes gone and 20 minutes to go, he just needs to keep doing much of the same. So it depends on how much damage Marmolato got. Kagatakos could potentially be looking at taking 2nd place here. Just keeping an eye, because he's showing us 46 seconds behind there, but he's just overtaken him on track because Marmolato's still in the pit. So I think when the timing screen updates, Kagatakos might well be up to 2nd place here. Just wait for the update at the moment. So both the Ferraris, yeah, he has Marmolato and Generino's Ferraris are both in the pits at the same time, and Kagatakos has now got 2nd position. He's got 20 minutes to hang on to it. The chances of him catching AH Gaming are very, very slim, bar an issue, as he's near enough a lap behind. But Marmolato is now half a circuit behind. Not quite half. So Kagatakos is coming down the back end of the mountain to the back straight. Yeah, Marmolotto, so 38 seconds over the last... 38 seconds in 20 minutes. He'll have to be particularly quick to make that gap up, that's for sure. But it'll make things a bit more interesting for the last few laps. Don't know how close the press grid is to Ryan. Ryan is just coming across the top of the brow of the hill. Also the press grid 23 seconds back off Harrison, but 6th place not too bad considering the issues early on. Serial Killer has overtaken Generino and is up to 9th. So let's just jump on with AH Gaming 44 for a lap. So he's just taken turn 1. He's going up the long first straight before the sharp right-hander, down to 3rd gear and power up the hill towards the double kinked left, which takes you then onto the mountain. And you want to be in 2nd gear there, power on as early as you can, take these corners nice and tight as you get up on top of the mountain. And then you've got your series of very fast left-handers, which is very difficult in these conditions in the dark, as you can't see always the apex. Very well taken there by AH Gaming. Over the brow, on the brakes, you've got the slow down, kink left, kink right, down a gear, into 1st, and then through the very sharp left-right and down the other side of the hill, and you'll come to the sharp left and left again onto the back straight. So power down now, you'll have your foot flat on the floor all the way down this back straight until you get up to around 175 miles an hour. You've got a very fast right-hander before slamming the brakes on before the left-right kink, which takes you down to the start-finish straight. So there's your fast right-hander on the brakes. You can see how much they glow in there, although they glow most of the time on this game. Nice line through there, down towards the final 90-degree left for the start-finish straight. So I'm glad I didn't curse him by jumping on board there. That was a very nice, clean lap from AH Gaming with 16 minutes to go, which is going to be 8 laps. He still has a commanding lead over his rivals. So Marmolotto's made a few mistakes, I think, which have caused damage, which is why he's had to make so many pit stops. But he still holds 3rd position in this race. Makagatakos at the moment still holding on to 2nd, and he's fought his way back after a difficult start and a difficult qualifying, and he's done very well, the sole Porsche driver in the number 88 car, to be up in 2nd place. So he's just coming across the top of the mountain, whereas Marmolotto is just coming up the hill now. So yeah, still 38 seconds back, so it looks like unless we have any more issues, it's pretty much going to stay the way it is at the moment, but we will keep our eyes peeled for any issues and anybody jumping in the pits. So only 10 drivers left in this race then, due to a few retirements. AH Gaming 44 is your lead driver. He is near enough a lap ahead of your next driver after keeping it nice and clean and tidy. Next up is Kagatakos. Great recovery drive and a bit of a poor qualifying, but he has done fantastically well throughout the race, kept his nose clean and has inherited 2nd position for his efforts. Marmolotto should be battling Ash at the front based on his pace, but he's had a few incidents which has led to him needing to make pit stops, and he is currently in 3rd position, 10 seconds ahead of Comma White, who again has had to make a bit of a recovery drive due to having several issues with damage. 20 seconds off the back of him is R. Harrison in 5th position in the lone Honda NSX. He's just coming down the back straight at the moment. 13 seconds off the back of him is the Press Squid. He's still in with a shout to get in 5th place in this race, actually. He's not too far behind Harrison now. So he's currently in the Merc in 11th. In the number 11 Merc, sorry, in 6th position. Dean Helix up now to 7th due to other people pitting and having issues. Despite that big accident that we were on board for, he has recovered up to 7th position at the moment. Serial Killer is a fair distance behind him. He's at the bottom of the start of the mountain, whereas Helix is coming down the other side. So yeah, 55 seconds the gap there. Clenneth, who's just had to make another pit stop, is currently in 9th position, and he's coming up the first straight there. And then last place is Jenna Reno, who's coming down the back straight at the moment. So they're all very spread out. All told, yeah, there's pretty much 4 laps between them, and no close battles to speak of at the moment, with 12.5 minutes to go. So just jumping on board with the H Gaming 44. I'm just going to take a short break and I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so just joining Depressed Squid. Excuse me. He is now probably, I'm estimating, 3 seconds behind Harrison as these guys cross the line. Oh no, only 1.5 seconds, so he's taken 3 seconds out of him in that lap alone. So Harrison clearly struggling for traction. He's driven very well, but he's going to be under pressure going into turn 2 here. As they go along this long straight, the press guard did a better exit. He's got the slipstream. He's going to be looking to make a move. Harrison giving him plenty of space, nice and clean, but yeah, he's not fought that too hard. He knows he's beat. He's got some tired old rubber on that Honda, and he gives Depressed with the position, and he is now up into 5th and 30 seconds off the back of Comma White. So Ash has just started his 38th lap. I think we're going to get 5 more based on the time. So Marmolato also just about to cross the start finish line, but a whole lap behind Ash basically at this point due to his extra pit stops. And in the middle of those two drivers is Kagatakos. So Common White currently in 4th, is not far off lapping Serial Killer. And then Press Squid is just about to cross the start finish line, so he's a fair amount behind Common. I think Common should be safe for the rest of this race. Harrison in 6th, just crossing the start finish line now. Dean Hillick's a fair amount behind him. Serial Killer just up on top of the mountain at the moment. Oh, a bit of a mistake there. Oh, just 8 minutes to go. Bit of a mistake there from Serial Killer. Such a shame. He's not had the race he would have wanted, but he got out of the way and let Common White not lose any time. Common White losing time to Marmolotto, sorry, anyway. Generino back in the pits. I think there's been another incident there, so he's pretty much going to have to settle for 10th place now. Clenneth in 9th place. About 30 seconds off the back of Serial Killer. Depends how bad the damage is from that incident, but he might not be a million miles off picking up another position if Serial Killer does have to make another pit stop, but I don't think he'll risk it with just 4 laps to go, so we'll keep an eye on things. So we've got just under 7 minutes left now of this race. It's been a long one. A great qualifying session, really close between particularly the top 5 drivers, with I think it was 3/10 in the end covering the top 5. An issue into turn 1 involving Adam Foster. Again, not sure of the circumstances, but he got spun and that caused a bit of a pile-up involving Serial Killer, Depressed Squid, Common White, and a few others got involved in that as well. So everybody's got a bit mixed up. There's been some long pit stops. AH Gaming 44 lost the lead to Marmolotto early on, but Marmolotto has had to make extra pit stops due to damage, or perhaps that was his strategy and he's got it wrong. I don't know 100% as I don't have access to the team radio, but AH Gaming has pretty much been flawless. He's just kept it nice and simple, and he's gone out there and got the job done. Kagatakos had a difficult qualified quite low down, but he's kept his nose clean and worked his way up to 2nd position in this race. And Marmolotto, despite his issues, has been very fast and is currently sat in 3rd position. So we've got 3 laps to go. Don't think there are any battles with people who are anywhere near each other at the moment, so it looks like it's pretty much going to stay as it is, as far as I can tell. But we'll just see out the last few laps now. So obviously this is our race 1 of season 2, and always important to get off to a good start, and that's what AH Gaming 44 has managed to do, get maximum points on this opening race night. It's a long season though, and with endurance races anything can happen. So the clock ticks down now. We'll have one more lap after this one. So he's just got to keep his head for a little bit longer. To be fair, I think he could probably afford to crash and still be well ahead of the rest of the pack, but he seems to be on fire around Mount Panorama tonight. Definitely a Marmite track, some love and some hate, and it is very difficult to get it right consistently for over 40 laps, which is exactly what AH Gaming has done, and fair play to him for it as well. So we did start, I think it was 14 drivers, then 13, and 3 have retired from this race for various mechanical reasons due to accidents. So just the 10 drivers remaining. So we've got a few drivers from both tiers out there. So currently your lead AM driver is R. Harrison in 6th place, and AH Gaming obviously being your lead pro driver at the moment. So a little glitch there, thought Ash had hit the wall. So it just glitched a little bit. There's been a few internet issues tonight, so apologies if you've had any glitching or sound issues, but it's not something we can control, unfortunately.
Alright man, the leader is on the final lap. Give it a final push.
There we go. The final lap for the leader, AH Gaming. One more lap and it is race over. No doubt these guys in this hot summer weather will be sweating by the time they cross the line. It's been a tough old race for these guys. But it's been an absolute pleasure to be here to commentate for you tonight. Apologies, there's been some silences, but sometimes in endurance racing there just isn't a lot going on to talk about at that time. But whenever there's been battles, we've been on it. And it's been nice to be asked to come back and do this commentary on behalf of Hoppers and TNRL after leaving the league last season. So thank you for having me back. So a little issue there for Ash, but he's managed to keep it together. I don't think he was ever in danger really of not winning this race now, as he comes down the back end of the circuit onto the back straight. It's just got 4 more corners to negotiate at the end of this massive straight, and he will be winner of race 1. On the brakes, into the left kink, hit the right kink, apex on the inside, hit the power down to the 90-degree left-hander, and AH Gaming 44 is about to cross the line as the winner of the opening race of Season 2 of TNRL, and he's taken the victory. Fantastic drive from AH Gaming. What a drive from him. He kept it clean, and he has taken the opening victory of this season, and a fantastic one it was as well, and a great way to start your career in a Bentley. So Kagatakos, Marmolotto's also finished, as is Harrison and Helix, because of where they've been lapped. So Kagatakos will be the next to cross the line, but he is right at the top of the mountain, so he's still a while away from that yet. But he has got second place, as I said earlier. Poor qualifying from him, but he's driven a brilliant race, kept his nose clean, and that's why he's managed to climb his way up into second position. Marmolotto third, Comma White fourth, Depressed Squid Recovery Drive up to fifth position. R. Harrison, the lead of the AM drivers, in sixth place. Dean Helix seventh, Serial Killer eighth, Clenneth ninth, and Jenna Reno in 10th position. So now just Clenneth and Kagatakos left to cross the line. And there you go, that is it. A huge congratulations to AH Gaming 44 for his win. Kagatakos for his second position, and Marmolotto, despite lots of issues, managing to finish in third position. And Comma White fourth, Depressed Squid fifth, R. Harrison sixth, Dean Helix seventh, Serial Killer eighth, Clenneth ninth, and Jenna Reno in 10th position, with the other three drivers retiring from this race. Thank you so much for tuning in to TNRL. It's been an absolute pleasure to race through this season, to commentate, on the first race this season, and best of luck to the drivers for the rest of the season. Next week, or the next race I should say, you'll be back with your regular commentator Hoppers. So thank you very much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed. Great racing, everyone. See you next time.